Welcome to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. And now your host, Tim Johnson.
We'll get our annual update on the Louisiana Community and Technical College System when System President Monty Sullivan joins us when we return on this edition of the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
Louisiana businesses, by partnering with your local Community and Technical College Foundation, you're guaranteed a skilled, highly competent workforce, homegrown talent, trained specifically to meet your needs, whatever those needs are. Visit this website to learn more about how to partner with your local Louisiana Community and Technical College Foundation. To better prepare for tomorrow, become a partner today.
At Optimal, we understand what's at stake during your projects. That's why we value integrity, trust, and expertise. We retain proven and experienced craftsmen, and with multiple locations, we can execute hundreds of customized project solutions across the country, so you stay ahead of schedule and under budget. At Optimal, you come first, plain and simple. We have your back, and we always deliver. Experience the Optimal difference.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
For 8 seconds in the arena before an afternoon in the field. For a promise to students that honors success in the classroom. For championships earned on the bayou. For innovators committed to reclaiming our coastline. The Universities of Louisiana. For your future. For our future.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Dr. Monty Sullivan. He is president of the Louisiana Community and Technical College System. Buddy, welcome back to the show. Fourth appearance, always one of my favorite conversations of the year.
Tim, appreciate the opportunity. Always good to be with you, and hope all the viewers are doing well.
Yep, we want them to be safe and to be healthy. I asked you about it before we started taping, but your family's good? Those
Everyone
in your
is
circle?
doing very well, healthy, and looking forward to 2 new grandbabies this summer.
How about that?
Exciting.
We had our mutual good friend, Dr. Jim Henderson, on the show last week, and he talked about the greatest grandbaby in the history of grandbabies, and he's pretty proud of his too. So congratulations on that. Monty, let's talk about the system. Remind the viewers about the Louisiana Community and Technical College System, the individual schools, the locations, the enrollment, what you do.
So, Jim, 12 institutions all across Louisiana with a footprint in nearly every parish in the state of Louisiana. Over 160,000 students we served this past year, graduating about 32,000 students.
Wow.
These are people that are not only headed to a degree, a baccalaureate degree maybe, transferring to a university, but also those that are finishing certifications and a whole range of different certifications that really are about putting people in the economy, helping people to be able to make a living, take care of their families. And what we learned most recently is when you hear the term essential personnel, think about your local community or technical college, because those people that are essential to the economy, essential to healthcare, essential to production, those are the people that have attended and completed at our community and technical colleges. So proud to play that role, but also proud of the impact that we're able to have for people.
Let's talk about the student body, Monty, because you serve, as you mentioned, 2 primary purposes there, right? You've got a significant portion of your student body that might be there taking what you would call transfer courses because they might be going on to some other 4-year institution in the state. You've got others there who are focused on industry-based certifications and that job-ready skill that they can go and apply and be successful in the economy. You've got a diverse student body. You've got a student body that might be a little bit older than the standard college student body. Let's talk about that.
Sure, so average age 27. And so you think about what happens between the age of 18 when you finish high school and 27 when you arrive on our college campus. lots of life happens, and unfortunately it's expensive. So people reach a point at 27 where there's a level of seriousness, and that translates on our college campuses to people who are on a mission. It's a lot of fun to watch people help themselves. One of the other things that we're finding today is that mission is not so much bifurcated in the sense that this group of students pursues a baccalaureate degree and this group pursues a certification. What we're finding more and more is people come back. Education is iterative. People are showing up on the college campus, yes, at 27 and 28, but again at 35 to pick up the latest certification that allows them to find the next level job or role and to go on to finish that baccalaureate degree, because mid-management may be an option for them. So there are lots of different opportunities at our community and technical colleges.
I've said for a number of years, because I've had the great pleasure of working sort of in this space some as well with my consulting firm, is that I tell young people that if you want to be successful, one of the 5 things I say you have to do is you have to commit yourself to learning for the rest of your life. You can get an industry-based certification. You can get an associate degree. You can go on to pursue a 4-year degree or maybe even a master's or a doctorate. But whatever you find, none of those degrees should be terminal. You have to be prepared to learn for the rest of your life, and you service that student body.
You know, one of the things that I was taught early on was when you quit learning, you quit earning.
That's right.
And that's a very important principle for all of us to come to terms with, whether you have a doctoral degree or whether you're working on an industry-based certification.
One of the things that I think is interesting is how hard this system works to connect to the regional economies where your campuses exist. And you talked about the fact that you touch just about every parish in this state one way or another. And so the culture of being in those individual parishes, the culture of being in those regional economies and participating there, talk about that a little bit, Monty, and also talk about your 12 school presidents, because I know how critically important having the right person in that chair is to the overall success of the enterprise.
Well, it's interesting you would ask the question in that way, because it is about that leader engaging with the local economy that helps guide programs, both the startup of new programs as well as the elimination of programs that maybe aren't aligned with the economy. From a Neil Aspinwall in Southwest Louisiana at Sewella to Dennis Epps in Northeast Louisiana, just great leadership. Rick Bateman and Earl Metter up in the northwest part of the state are just tremendous leaders. What we're finding is the newest member of the group is Willie Smith right here in the Baton Rouge community, and he is absolutely going to rock that chancellorship at Baton Rouge Community College.
Our mutual friend Jimmy Sawtell in Central Louisiana.
Right in Central Louisiana. So all of these folks are engaged at the community level, having conversations with local business leaders about their needs from a workforce perspective. What's really important about that is that's how we find the value add for the student. That's how we know what programs to offer that are going to give the greatest value to that student who is investing their time and their energy and their resources to go back to school. Those resources are ultimately what are going to lead them then to a sustainable career, a good living, and the ability to take care of their families.
We got less than a minute left in this segment, so I really want to drill down a little bit on that. We may come back to it some as well. But this is not your grandfather's old Votex system anymore. This is really laser focused on the economy and the region and preparing individuals for the careers that exist there, Monty, and therefore playing a significant role overall in the growth of our economy.
That's right. Healthcare being one example in the midst of what we're dealing with today is so much the focus, but it goes well beyond that. Industrial maintenance, process technology. So, many people think of welding as sort of the welding of old, when the reality is it's a very different place today. The level of math, the level of work and chemistry that goes into some of these roles is significant. So we're proud of the work that we do at our colleges, and we're proud of the work that our students do after they leave our colleges.
Let's take a break. I want to come back. I want to talk a little bit about the LCTCS Foundation. We're visiting with Dr. Monty Sullivan. He's president of the Louisiana Community and Technical College System. You're watching the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
Since 1919, we've designed and constructed hundreds of industrial plants, roads, ships, dams, and executed some of the most complex jobs in the world. In fact, our quality and dependability are legendary. Today, the legend continues as Brown & Root delivers engineering, construction, maintenance, and industrial specialty services throughout the U.S. and the world from our headquarters here in Louisiana. We are Brown & Root.
We are united in battle to defeat a microscopic enemy. Manufacturing chemicals that safeguard lives. Refining essential fuels. Delivering in a world of uncertainty. Our creative energy is the force helping to keep families, the community, and each other safe. Together, we are Shell, the rhythm of Louisiana.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging time.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
We're right there with you. Gulf Coast Bank is invested in technology with a local touch, a smart way to manage your money and your time. With our mobile banking app, you can make deposits, check balances, transfer money, pay bills, and more. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you. Member FDIC. Message and data rates may apply.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Dr. Monty Sullivan is our guest. Monty, we talked about the overview, the number of students, the focus, this regional economy focus that you guys have in preparing these students to go out and be successful, because that's really the measure of what you're doing, right? Can they participate successfully in the economy? You have the Louisiana Community and Technical College Foundation. You also have a Facilities Corporation. I want to talk about the foundation. I want to talk about the Facilities Corporation. We've been blessed with some fabulous new facilities and equipment in this state. So give us a big picture overview and talk about your vision going forward.
You know, one of the core principles of our organization is that that public-private partnerships are absolutely essential to our future. And that public-private partnership involves, yes, investments in our foundation. We've more than doubled our foundation assets from about $25 million to just over $50 million in a 6-year period. That is an unheard of accomplishment, not only to double, but to do so for 2-year colleges that only a few years ago, many of our colleges didn't even have foundations.
Right.
What we're seeing, though, is an investment that has taken place in our colleges because of what we produce. Because of what we provide to business and industry, people see a value and they want to invest. They also want to be a part of success. And that's what's taken place. That excellence at our colleges causes people to want to be in, and by in, I mean make those investments. The Facilities Corporation is the same. The reality is students will not show up to a facility that doesn't look like success.
Right.
These facilities are world-class. They mirror what someone can expect to be working in when they reach the economy. And so those students walking into that classroom every day are already in a mindset of, this is what work will look like for me. They're clean environments, they have the latest technology, the latest facilities, the latest equipment, and by the way, faculty that are as well prepared as anyone in the world to deliver that curriculum. And so the student walks away knowing that they are well prepared, that it is a high quality environment, and that they're going to an employer that is going to provide a career pathway that works for them and for their families. So the transformation that has occurred in our community and technical colleges with nearly $1 billion in investment in new facilities, thanks to Senator Robert Adley, who sponsored both of those bills, and to the legislature for the tremendous support. We've been able to build out facilities that allow us to tell a different story to the public. As you said earlier, this is not your grandfather's technical school, trade school. This is a high-tech organization preparing people for the workplace of tomorrow.
It really is impressive to see, and I encourage our viewers who might not be familiar with today's Louisiana Community and Technical College system to stop by one of the campuses and check it out, because I think they will be impressed and, as you say, maybe more encouraged to support the system. Right. You mentioned the Louisiana legislature and how important what goes on there is to the future of the system. I know you're watching a number of things pretty closely, right? We've got Reset Louisiana, Reboot Louisiana. You're watching these broadband bills in terms of internet across our state. Talk about what the system is paying attention to in the current special legislative session.
Lots of things on the horizon, as you point out, but none more important than helping legislators, policymakers, staff, and everyone understand that Louisiana's budget and Louisiana's economy and our future is about educating and skilling people. If we aren't able to put people back to work, we have much bigger issues. And the reality is CARES Act dollars, federal CARES Act money, stimulus dollars that are coming to the state of Louisiana are buying us one thing: time.
Right.
We had better take this opportunity to improve the cost structures of our budget, to improve the revenue streams of our budget, because come 2021 and 2022 and beyond, we're going to have other challenges. This economy is not going to turn around immediately. I hope it does, but the reality is none of the economic indicators suggest to us that the economy is going to come roaring back in the next 90 days. As such, we have to look to our education talent pool, which is our higher education entity, community and technical colleges being one of those, to ensure that we're educating and skilling people, preparing them for the jobs of tomorrow. So we are spending a great deal of time telling that story and ensuring that legislators understand our colleges are not expenditures. The state of Louisiana funds about 30% of our budget, okay? Our responsibility to the state is to educate and skill more people and produce taxpayers, people that allow businesses to come to Louisiana and be successful. So lots of discussion around that message, but look, let me tell you, none more important right now than the broadband issue. There are far too many people in the state of Louisiana. In fact, I read a statistic this weekend. We think of it as being a rural issue. 1 in 4 people in the city limits of New Orleans don't have access to broadband.
Wow. That
is incredible. But think about the young person that grows up in a place much like you in Pine Prairie and myself in the little town of Oak Grove. There are places in the state that simply do not have access. In 2020, it is unforgivable. We are limiting our young people's ability to see and participate in the rest of the world, economically, educationally, healthcare. Think of all of the different impacts. There was a point in time where broadband and access to the internet was a luxury. That is not where we are today. It is just as much an important utility, if you will, as electricity and running water. We have to find a way to do more to provide that level of service. It was never more evident to me than when we saw our K-12 schools and our post-secondary institutions move to an online delivery. Understanding the impact for our faculty, for our students, for a whole range of people. If you don't have that access, what do you really have? You're missing out on so much of what's happening across the country. The legislative session, I think, from a budgetary point of view, we are thankful for the work that has gone on, because there are many people out there that have created a budget out of pieces and parts that are going to help us to get through this next year. Our responsibility is to prepare beyond this year.
I have said for a long, long time that you can't starve your governmental priorities and expect excellence from them. So we'll be watching that very closely. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Lots more to talk about. We're visiting with Dr. Monty Sullivan. He's president of the Louisiana Community and Technical College System. You're watching the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.
Exo Modular Scaffold, a Bartlett Group company, is an innovative leader in the scaffold services industry, with a strong following of loyal customers in the refining, petrochemical, chemical, and nuclear industries.
Baton Rouge. We know how to deal with hardship. Floods, hurricanes, illnesses. They've threatened our families, our livelihoods, our communities, and spirits. But we always find the energy to overcome it all. The energy to work together and help one another. The energy to pull ourselves into a brighter future. We're honored to be part of Baton Rouge. Together, we have the energy to move forward, and that's what we're going to do.
Modular Scaffold, a Bartlett Group company, is an innovative leader in the scaffold services industry with a strong following of loyal customers in the refining, petrochemical, chemical, and nuclear industries.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Business and Industry Show. Dr. Monty Sullivan, Louisiana Community and Technical College System, is our guest. Monty, you've been selected to chair a pretty important board, the National Student Clearinghouse.
Right.
Tell us what it is and why it's important.
Yeah, National Student Clearinghouse is an organization that probably has the largest amount of post-secondary and secondary data in a single repository of any entity anywhere in the country, more so than the federal government even. It was created really largely to identify those students who may be enrolled at multiple institutions to ensure that students only receive financial aid once. What has happened since then has been a growth in industry-based certifications, as an example. As you know, with your work with NCCER, that organization has just exploded with the number of certifications. And so National Student Clearinghouse is really aimed at trying to identify enrollment, completion, and industry-based certification data that is important to our economy.
You know, really important stuff, and it's interesting to me that they would select you to be part of that, because you and I have had this conversation about this critically important data for so long. And I look forward to seeing what takes place over the course of the next year as you lead that organization. I want to touch base on COVID-19 quickly. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but you know, if we go back to mid-March, and I had this same conversation with Jim Henderson last week, go back to mid-March, you guys are rocking along in your semester, and then the world changes, right?
Right.
How have you adjusted? Question one. And what have you seen that might be permanent change going forward?
You know, what we experienced was our faculty and staff did something that was amazing. In a matter of 7 to 10 days, they transformed what is traditionally lecture and lab instruction to online hybrid instruction. But the most important part was they never took their eyes off the mission. They never lost focus of 2,400 healthcare professionals that we needed to make sure graduated, were prepared to go into the job place. So instead of graduating in the 15th of May timeframe, they were out by the last week of April, going to work, taking care of people, including those patients who may have been infected with COVID-19. So the impact that our colleges have has just been tremendous, and the focus that people continue to have, I'm really excited about. What will we take with us? I think you can anticipate that the college as we know it has changed. And the online environment, the online delivery of instruction will be different going forward. And I don't just mean that in English and history and psychology courses. I mean that in the construction trades. I mean it in the healthcare fields. It will be different going forward because much of the instruction that is lecture-based will be delivered electronically. There will always be those hands-on components, and they will not be replaced, I can assure you. But where we can, we will begin to narrow the amount of face-to-face instruction.
It'll be interesting to watch as we go forward. Issues of race are playing out all over the United States, and no place are issues of race more evident because of the diversity of a student body than in maybe a community in our technical college. Tell us what you've seen on your campuses, Monty, although you don't have a lot of people on your campuses. What's playing out, and from a leadership perspective, how are you dealing with it?
You know, first of all, thank you for bringing this subject forward. It is one that I think is so important for us in community and technical colleges because nearly 40% of our population is minority. 40% of the enrollees at our colleges are minority, and 2 out of 3 are female. So it's important that those students see themselves in leadership and faculty within our colleges. We are, without a doubt, the most diverse system of higher education, from leadership to faculty, you name it. Our institutions are Louisiana's institutions. We look more like Louisiana than any other segment of higher education. And while we have extraordinary relationships with our HBCU colleagues, love the mission of HBCUs. In fact, I started my higher ed career at Grambling State University, one of our most noted HBCUs. I would tell you that our colleges enroll and graduate more minorities than any other in public higher education in Louisiana. We're proud of that fact. But here's what I know for certain. There's a lot of work to be done. We have to find a way to lift everyone in Louisiana, and we do that by having access to higher education in communities that need it the most. And so we're spending our time looking at ways that we can do a better job of educating and skilling, have a tremendous team of leaders within our chancellors who every one of them are committed to this work. committed to the work of lifting all of Louisiana and making sure that we are an example, that we're a bright light within our communities where people know that they are welcome, people of all backgrounds. While race is the discussion for today, inclusion and a discussion about belonging is for everyone.
It will be the community and technical colleges, I believe, that lead this effort on social justice in terms of education in our state, in terms of eradication of poverty, which is such a debilitating issue for us. And so I know that the community and technical college system with you and some of the leaders that are in place will be focused on those things. We've got about a minute left in the show, so let's talk about what's on the horizon for the LCTCS.
You know, what's on the horizon is what's on Louisiana's horizon. 20 years ago, October 8, 1998, there was a constitutional amendment that was put forward by Governor Mike Foster to create a community and technical college system. And today, as we face COVID-19, economic impact, social unrest, all of these issues on the horizon, this was the moment that these colleges were created for. That's exciting to me. Yes, there are tough challenges. Yes, there are questions, issues that we have to deal with. But I know this, education is a key part of solving every one of those challenges, and our colleges are ready.
Well, I said this to Jim Henderson last week, and I'll say it to you, and I mean it with every fiber of my soul. I believe that we are blessed with the leadership that we have in some of these positions, particularly the Louisiana Community and Technical College System, the University of Louisiana system, the right leaders in place at the right time. And what has taken place in those 20 years that this system has existed is absolutely phenomenal. I encourage all of our viewers to seek more information on the LCTCS. Thanks for the work you do, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's a wrap, guys. Thanks for joining us. Join us again next week at this very same time for another edition of the Louisiana Business and Industry Show.